since '92. How do they do it?
Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain.
With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Sport is alive and well at Bond University.
Even though the siren here is deafening to us, we can talk through it and come out fighting there. Again, trying to be helpful, not patronising, so get the balance right. Is it possible to have the sound in my earphones turned down a little, please?
Yes, likewise, yeah.
That's a little too much, just a little bit up, please. 1, 2, 3, perfect. Oh, perfect for me.
A little bit down for me, please.
Or is it the same? Oh, no.
Yep. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2. Yeah, I've got too much gain there, have I? Not too distorted.
It's being sounded, well, we've both got a bit of distortion, but it's how it sounds.
Testing 1, 2,
people, isn't it?
Yep, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay.
Four's next, man. Oh, big a dickhead. Sorry. So I said four's next. So I'm a dad, can you tell? Feel free to get the weather app open as well if you like. That's not an instruction, it's a suggestion. Sorry.
Well, something I'm looking for, hopefully the worst is gone.
Agreed, yeah. Has the ad played? Sorry, but has the that Bond Union, has that played yet, or are you waiting for us to give you a signal to it? Is anything I'm saying making sense? Have they played the Bond Union? Yes. Of course, or we can like this also. Oh no. Would have been nice to know. Welcome to Hickey Park in Stafford for the final round of the 2025 Bond University QAFLW. And given the season we've had, it's almost the most appropriate way of finishing the season that the ground is quite wet. We've had squally weather all day. It absolutely bucketed in Brisbane last night. And this match, at one stage, it looked like it was going to be a finals playoff. That more or less looks certain now who's going to make it and who won't. But it's the Wilston Grange Gorillas, having qualified for the finals for the first time in 7 years, and they are going to finish off their home and away season against the University of Queensland Red Lionesses, who it appears are most likely to miss out in fairly agonising circumstances. My name is Daniel Viles. It's a great pleasure to be with you, and making his debut in the Bond University QAFLW today, although certainly not in the commentary box, Mr. Andrew Brown. Andrew, welcome to the QAFLW.
Yeah, great to be here, Daniel. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, looking forward to this contest, and of course, perhaps a bit of a sad day as well for a couple of the players. It's playing their last game, but they want to go out in a bit of a high, especially from the UQ side. But as you said, no doubt Wilston Grange don't want to flirt with any form going into the final series. So lot to play for still, and looking forward to the contest. Conditions, obviously, as those who have been living in southeast Queensland would know, overcast and pretty drizzly, but look from the radar, and hopefully that rain has gone away to make life a bit more comfortable for us and the players. And looking for this contest. Obviously a late withdrawal though for UQ with JC Hargreaves late withdrawal, and coming to the side number 39 Bailey Cook, and also they're missing their leading goalkeeper Monique Punti.
Yeah, 5 goals last week for Monique, and so they've kind of traded netballers though, because they've recently been able to get Gabby Simpson back from her sojourn playing for, I think, the Pulse in the New Zealand Championship in netball. Hopefully, we'll put it this way, her most spectacular moment in the Bond University QAFLW to date was a 75-metre wind-assisted goal in Pride Round last year. If she can produce something like that today, I think it'll, social media will have a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and of course, all but one of the games starting at the same time. That means anything. Obviously, a lot of the matches being played after the men's match, such as the case here. And of course, a lot of eyes will be on Southport and Morningside, the top two teams. But of course, you can watch that on the Bond QAFLW channel.
The official AFLQ channel, just so you know what to type in. But we are underway at Hickey Park, round 16. It's been a few years since we've had a round 16 in this competition. Wilston Grange running to the left of your screen, which is the eastern end of this ground. Uma Brennan, apologies, just being held up at the front of the square.
I'm looking forward to this ruck contest too between Ella Smith, number 33 there for Wilston Grange, and of course the experience of Coco Garton, who's just about leading the hit-outs so far this season.
She's done well as UQ tried to get it as Garton just had the ball slip underneath her. Knife runs out of trouble, tried to handball to a teammate and then thought, no, hang on, that's not a teammate, that's Uma Brennan. Knife with the tackle, was able to get it away from Brennan. Turned over, Pritchard is playing very, very deep. Handballs forward to Sartor. Sartor out towards Hicks. Finning will chase it. Finning just caught it, if such a thing can happen on an oval field. Get it through to Donataccio and then finds O'Donnell.
Yeah, good mark there, presenting there well was O'Donnell in front. And one of the features, of course, the same from the women's football is the progress of the tackling and how effective it can be.
Summer Hamilton also playing very deep. Been a few changes to the named list. Contested mark attempted in the centre of the ground. Didn't quite go to the plan of either side. Holding the ball, advantage paid. Goes through to Matenga. Matenga outside the 50. Looks for the target. It was the one-on-one. Mia Gear was intercepted by Sammy Snowden, who's had a wonderful first year in the Bond University QAFLW. Through back to Sartor. Kicks on her barely weaker left foot. Again coming from defence to try to take it was Donataccio. Second effort from her is strong, brought to ground by Moyle.
Hit the nail on the head there with Sammy Snowden. Love the way she attacked the ball there and showed a bit of pace to get in front of her opponent to affect that spoil. And you're going to see a lot of number 4, Eva Sartor, there as well. She drives a lot of inside 50s for UQ.
Of course, coming into this game is that's cleared out of the way by Hydes, who's back from Queensland under-18 duties. UQ have 3 of the top 4 tacklers in this competition numerically. Of course, on the smaller base architecture meadows, they do play a very contested style, which tends to raise the tackle numbers, but you're still going to make them.
A few players who just around the ball, so both forward lines fairly open at the moment.
Garton getting the better of Smith, but knocked down to Finlay, who's had her best season in a while, and she's normally high quality. Bounces behind Kendall, knocks it into space a second time. She didn't even have front position. Gets it forward towards Celebre. Celebre will snap from about 40. Needs a roll on, landed in the mud. Snowden prevents all points, didn't even need to rush it through. Kicks it into space, Brennan chasing out on the 50. Tried to knock it into space for herself, very clever from Uma Brennan. Kicks it towards the pocket, it swung in the air, a bit of left to right action on the ball, and then a try is scored in the back pocket. It's Bailey Cook gets the 4-pointer or 5-pointer, depending on which code you're following.
Yeah, good work from Uma Brennan there to get around a couple of opponents and showing some of the skills that she possesses and to keep Wilston Grange in the attacking forward pocket.
Originally from Coolangatta, Kishai Matenga, and Uma Brennan. Well, they both are, but Brennan's the one we're talking about. Recently brought up 50 games in this competition. Bit of a hold as it's semi-cleared by Garton. Dropped by Finlay. You can blame the ball for that. Looping handball to Ware. Had to make her own space. Back to Donataccio. Kicks it to a contest. Hamilton. Again, could have held on. Didn't. Makes a bit of space for herself. The kick is more vertical. Celebre in the action. Brought down by Garton. Knocked forward. There are 2 UQ defenders behind the ball. Kendall with a bit of magic. Tries to knock it through. It's for probably the scrappiest goal Kendall scored all season. But she always finds a way. Tashinta Kendall on the board in the 4th minute.
Yes, knows her way around the goals. Leading goal kicker there for the Gorillas, of course, so far this season. Brings up now number 22, I believe. And that was great work. Although Coco Garton there for UQ got herself in front, helping out her defensive zone. But the ball spilled down and, as said, Tashinta Kendall was first onto it and able to slap one through.
Came from a rugby sevens background, Tashinta Kendall, and played probably more reserve grade than top grade at Bond University the last couple of years. Came further north looking for opportunities. I'd say she found them.
Absolutely. Enjoying her time here at Hickey Park.
It's wasted in reserve grade. Finlay. Smith. Through to Wallace. Wallace just got fist to ball. Hyde's retreating. UQ with numbers around. O'Donnell
Yeah, that's a dumping tackle there. It was a bit too aggressive on that occasion there by Gracie O'Donnell.
Well called by Jack Pledge and Andrew Brown. In towards the 50, Donataccio sweeps at the back. Got the handball inside towards Wallace. The 1-2 worked extremely well. And just hit the deck. Bit of high contact here from collision. Wallace again. And that'll be a lasso.
Yeah, I just want to have the umpire sees that. And yes,
doesn't
kick there.
Doesn't need to be deliberate in the women's comp, so intent is not part of the story.
You can tell us might have been.
Got a guide through, Satchisiv. Found a way through to Martin. Garton. Sartor. Found Knife, but he was in a bit of a cul-de-sac. Sartor again. Somehow found a way. Goes through to Ross. Ross brought down, was able to dispose just in time. Martin trying to get it forward. Ross with another opportunity. Slight check side kick. Brought to ground. Through to Hicks. Out wide to Barnett. Elka Barnett!
Great work there. And I like the work there of Freya Ross. Could have easily just sat back and let the ball continue onto the forward line without pursuing it, but she did go on for a great second effort. Got the ball down there, and great roving work there by Elka Barnett to get her first through for the afternoon.
12th goal for the year, 24th in her career for Elka Barnett. Another one I think came from the rugby background. She's been a little bit elusive in the research stakes. But, well, Freya Ross, well done pointing her out. She's one of the young guns in this side who's part of the Lions Academy. But if you look through the UQ side, they've got 11 teenagers and 4 players over 30. Because every time they rebuild, a lot of other clubs around the QAFLW go, oh, they look good, let's grab them.
Big clash there in the centre between Garton and also Ella Smith. Smith just doing the better of it, so a chance for Wilston Grange here.
Martin making her way strongly back. Not quite able to get it to Sartor, but she puts the effort on Findlay. It's roly-poly in the middle of Hickey Park.
So down the forward line to Campbell there, being closely marked. She's always dangerous, as we know. Also playing full forward there for the Siobhan Senior. He's down there, the forward line. Full forward there for the Grange.
How'd she earn that position up there? Get back on the ball, Siobhan, where you
Having a rest.
Gabby Simpson bursting through, one for the netball fans. It's the only time I'll say that today. Winter Ross and Wilston Grange, without ever having possession, have pushed UQ about 10 metres back.
Getting a few tap outs there, UQ, just having a bit of trouble getting that the second or third clearance. Is a great tap by Garton down there.
Found Simpson, then Sartor, just wide of Nelson, and turned over. The handball low to Findlay. Goes back to Crow, on debut, Abby Crow. Very highly regarded 16-year-old, and Wilston Grange have blooded a few of those this year. Turnover on this occasion to Simpson. Flying for it was Pritchard, came down without it. Finning, who began here as a forward and then was moved to fullback halfway through last year. It hasn't looked back, or forward, depending on your orientation. Satchisiv towards Pritchard, sliding effort in front. Not quite able to come down with it was Crow. Findlay getting a lot of touches early. Anderson went flying, got a hand to it, kicked it through towards Cook. Kendall finds a way through again. Knocks it towards the pocket. I'm going to say she's not going to be able to score from here, because she probably will if I say that. Gets the handball away to Fletcher. Ducks underneath.
Probably the right call by the umpire there, and just got to learn. Perhaps could have handballed quickly ball back to Kendall, but ducking her head's not going to be winning any favours to the umpires.
In fairness to Fletcher, I think she was genuinely trying to avoid the tackle and was unsuccessful. She's taller than she thinks, Katie Fletcher. Another one who's been around this comp for some time and has played in all 3 lines at different times, including a premiership season at UQ in 2022. Bursting through the middle was Ross. Fortunate enough to kick that left-footed and somehow did a bunny hop in midair. Finning, Barnett pushing it forward. Finning was clever enough to get back. The handball ended up hitting Barnett in the head. She looks okay. Finning, back into centre field. Martin underneath, and that's a superb mark from Hydes.
Yeah, great mark. Back there, but they've wasted it here. Oh, the turnover. No, they'll get it back here.
So Knife on her way through. The triple turnover. Coming through from the back was Andrews, the captain. Looking for a player running through. Found Knife. Knife goes check side. The kick won't have the distance. I actually thought that landed inside the paint, but I'm about 100 metres further away than the person responsible for making the signal.
Yeah, great work there by Knife once again. And so when they do get the ball out in the open, they are looking dangerous. And once again, an open forward line. Knife following up from the initial play as well. And creating up that opportunity.
Sorry, Andrew, and
apologise.
Barnett down to Hicks. Hicks on the ground, going for a roll. Free kick. And Lucy Hicks, one of two players, in fact it was Gary Simpson, but Lucy Hicks, her final game of Australian football today.
It's great if she can go out with a couple of goals and on a winning team.
I think it was her third game in this competition. She kicked 3 1/4 against the then Premiers Yeronga. Lucy Hicks from a fair way out. Distance is good. Lucy Hicks celebrates her final game in style.
An accurate kicking too. 2 goals straight already there to UQ, to Wilston Grange only the 1. And they all ran to her. There's no surprise. And it's going to be dangerous if they get the ball down to her quickly with that height advantage.
You're having a couple of 6-footers, because they have in the past switched Garton and Hicks between the ruck and forward positions. I think they tend to keep it a bit more stable these days and leave Lucy up front. The other player who's playing her final game of Aussie rules today for UQ is Julia Dawson in the number 22 jersey, who's been an absolute club stalwart, 61 games in top grade, but about 3 million in reserves, and just an absolute definition of a club woman.
Haven't seen a lot of Faraday Hopkins yet. You can see there in the middle. She's received a touch, but of course a dangerous player in the midfield for UQ.
She gets touches. Sometimes her distribution can be a bit hot and cold, but when she's on, I think she's leading inside 50s for the season. But
Garton really on top of the ruck there too.
Indeed. Moving out towards the left as Knife just lost her feet a bit. Senior's been moved back onto the ball. It came back to Gear, who's also come back onto the ball. Senior just off the top of the boot, looking for Kendall, who gets there ahead of Cook.
She's off.
She thought she was. I think she had so many options she couldn't decide which one was the best one. Goes over the head of Satchisiv. Ends up with Fletcher. Fletcher goes for a run. Probably runs a full 15. It's going to fall short, and Snowden ate that for breakfast.
And advantage of playing in front once again. Expecting the ball to drop short. She was right. It was a risky kick, though, across the face of goal. And Snowden had to do a second effort, sits on top of it. In trouble, but they can break away now. Wilston Grange get out defensive zone.
So they finally worked it out the way to the wing, taken by Ware. Goes all the way back to Grace O'Donnell. For the uninitiated, she's GOD, so affectionately known as God around the club. Donataccio knocks it forward to Wallace. Kicked into the midriff, I suspect, of Neary. Pritchard tracked her well. Neary getting involved. Smith found a way through. The kick was scuffed. Satchisiv around the outside, and this will be a free kick to Wilston Grange by one of about 3 methods.
Good pressure by the Gorillas there. Kept UQ at bay. Will take a result, the free kick. And it doesn't allow UQ to get back inside that attacking 50 at the moment, try and clog things up. So probably need someone to lead into a bit of space. It's what's happening now. That's the target.
Towards Celebre. Been doing that for a while. She's probably more known for the spectacular goal than the traditional play. In towards the goal square. Kendall had it and lost it. The work on the ground is strong from Satchisiv. Has to release. Knocks it away. Trying to find a way out. And well taken at the second effort by Layla Collins.
Yeah, she had Lucy Hicks bearing down on her and stood her ground. Took a great juggling mark.
Towards the goal square. Was there a push in the back on Matenga? She's not complaining, but they have been able to wrap it up with Dawson, as she so often does, playing goalkeeper, so to speak.
It's great work by Layla Collins there. You see number 40 standing next to Lucy Hicks there at the moment.
Fitting in the ruck, just caught the shoulder of the teammate. The clearance straight down the guts, came up the shoulder of Nelson. Collins spins, well taken by Nelson. Back to Collins, inside to Gear. Gear trying to make space. The tackle was superb. The umpire said there was a fist there, so play allowed to continue. Knocked out wide towards Simpson, head over the ball, charges her way through. Handball over the top, spins away from everyone. Trying to duck underneath, didn't quite work. Senior will get the ball located more centrally. Finning's been moved forward to add a bit of size to the front pack. Welsh inside to Senior. Moyle wraps her up well, brought to ground, ball up on the 50.
Listen to the previous play there, Mia Gear hit this face on the right hand side. She went back into trouble there, so perhaps trying to look for a left foot rather than the right foot option on handball.
On the last 2 goals of the year in this competition. Over the shoulder from Wallace. Hit away by Matenga. Looking for Celebre. Somehow knocked herself into space. The tackle was strong from Knife. Matenga trying to find a way through. Ended up running headfirst into Julia Dawson.
Yeah, perhaps might have got a free kick there because he was just bending down, pick up the ball and rounding from opposition midriff there. Another chance here for Grange.
Out towards Gear. Broke one tackle. Couldn't break the second. Managed to get a kick away. Snowden tracking back. And then hit extremely hard by Gear. Turned over, goes back to Brennan. Brennan shoots from about 40, nearly beat everyone. Loose ball, Satchisiv will attempt to clear. Keeps it wide, looking for Martin. Ended up falling back the way she wanted to Knife, but then turned over again. Shalise Anderson.
Yeah, running back to the flight of the ball, that's a great mark.
Collins in the thick of the action again. Likewise, Senior. Somehow pilfered by Simpson. And then back to Finning, the double pilfer. Out towards, well, it was Gear, and then just ran away from her to Osborne. Good to see her back from injury. The shot comes in from the pocket, across the face of goal, boundary throwing.
Worked there by Gear, just did wait for it. Good wrist, looking for a target up there, just couldn't quite got it, but Wilston Grange still another attacking position here. Left forward pocket, there's a couple of minutes remaining. Trying to equalise that score up against UQ.
An enterprising first half. I dare say that the inside 50 count will be favouring the Gorillas. Hicks got in front. Neary working back. Just got a little bit of a push and then has a second effort. Comes wide. Donataccio. She's good.
Love the attack on the ball again because again, she knew how to player threatening down on her in Edie McCabe.
Lands with Matenga. Osborne. Brought to ground by Snowden. Evades the tackle or somehow slipped out of it. Welsh. Wouldn't have gone 15 anyway, but came off a boot. Matenga got her hands on the ball. Handballed away from Snowden. Finning underneath. Trying to find a way through was Fletcher. Osborne. Couldn't get the hands free. Spills out towards Senior. Strong tackle from Moyle to end the play.
Strong tackles all round. Good to see good pressure football here from both teams. Really applying themselves in this first term.
Nothing wrong with the pace of the game. As that kick came vertically out of the pack. Brennan plays on. Uma Brennan misses to the right. The first miss of the day.
Did you have to there, Daniel? I thought the ball might have come to 15. Didn't want to take a set shot, but probably had a bit of space on her outside and decided to keep on running. Perhaps probably had a bit more time to settle and have a better shot at goal, but just missing on that occasion.
Couldn't hear it from here unless there was a call from the umpire saying not 15 while it travelled. That's a possibility that I'm not going to rule out. Wilson Grange reserve graders seated in front of the camera. They'll be in action at the conclusion of this match. They've had their best year in a while.
Busy day at Hickey Park.
Yeah, the last 5 header. Don't know what Greek mythological animal that is. Senior. Back through to Brennan, who's enjoying life. Inside 50. Strong kick. Not quite taken by Gear, but it fell to Celebre. Then to Kendall. Then to Fletcher. Fletcher trying to keep it in. Trying to keep the opportunity alive. Snowden, I think, put pressure on the last 4 disposals from the Gorillas, and that's the kind of play she's been producing all throughout 2025.
Yeah, tried hard there, Katie Fletcher. Just had Celebre on her inside, just couldn't quite tap it up. I think that was the intention.
Garton knocked it back, found that there was no one there. Collins with the snap. Probably a fortunate slip because it meant that she was there for the flight of the ball. That was Dawson at the back, who could not have timed that slipping over any more perfectly.
And Grange are playing in front though. Wilson Grange play just caught behind on that occasion, but another chance here from close range.
Kendall! Finning got the ruck win, knocked it to the right, and Kendall, you can't give her a nanosecond.
Definitely not almost on the stroke there at quarter time, that 8-minute mark, and just read that tap beautifully. And has been a bit of a move there from Wilson Grange coaching staff to get Finning forward, and it's proved very handy on that occasion, and Kendall just read that beautifully off the pack and sneaked it through.
Finning's basically a prototype central corridor player. You can stick her anywhere from fullback to full forward via ruck, and you've got yourself a good combo.
Standing out with the long sleeves as well.
Yeah, it keeps herself warm. Although I'm not sure what she does when she plays in the Northern Territory, which is where she, I think, met a lot of these Wilston Grange players who There's a fair old overlap between the Queensland and Northern Territory Premier Leagues and the Windsor. Strong tackle, just not quite able to get away. That was Freya Ross. Donataccio, who's been one of the best on field in this first quarter, got it through to Ware, brought to ground well by Andrews.
Good tackle there by the skipper.
He's gone the other way. She spent the last 3 or 4 years as a defender before moving forward this year. And the first quarter ends with a bit of a tangle inside the centre square, but it's 2-1-13 to Wilston Grange. 2 goals straight for the University of Queensland. Tashinta Kendall scoring both goals for the Gorillas. The goals to University of Queensland going to
Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92.
How do they do it? Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain.
With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Sport is alive and well at Bond University.
come from behind, but Tashinda Kendall with her second goal of the match on the stroke of quarter time. My name's Daniel Viles. With me is Andrew Brown. Andrew, your thoughts on the first quarter?
Yeah, entertaining first quarter, and you got those early breaks. And just a couple of handy goals. Good work by Elka Barnett and, of course, Lucy Hicks in the final game, taking a strong mark and getting a resulting goal. But after that, it was all Wilston Grange attacking the inside 50, and they really did dominate. So they certainly deserved a goal late in that quarter to get their noses in front.
Thank you, Andrew. Of course, you can read Andrew's match reports and previews on play.afl/Queensland. Grace Osborne with the first clearance from the centre gets it through to her captain in Finlay. There's a rather garish advertising sign. Put subliminal messages about dinner into your mind.
Still too early for me yet.
Speak for yourself.
Well, Jim Simpson last though before we came on here.
Yeah, the clubhouse here.
There was a trap for me, I can tell you that much.
Get a gorilla burger. Gabby Simpson on the ball. Tried to move it wide. Senior ran into trouble. Was there prior opportunity? Not according to the umpire. And I haven't mentioned the umpires today. Oh, we have an injury, so yes. I'll just leave that for the moment.
Yeah, it looks like Annalise Sneary down, but received a hard knock, so taking a while to get up. So obviously play stops while she gets tended to. Thankfully, no midfield scrap. She'll probably come off for a break. I don't think it was a head knock. I think it was just holding her face at the moment. I think it was more to the chest and shoulder area.
Yeah, I'm hoping that was just wiping hair out of the ass.
Certainly a little bit, no, there's a bit of powder around the mouth, so thank you.
As in, thank you for identifying. Sorry, not thank you for No, you're laughing at the commentator's stupidity. That's completely loud. But Annalise Sneary, who's had a good sort of first full year, I think she debuted last year from memory. She did. Getting experience, being brought off the field. Ella Smith resumes normal service with a ruck victory. Just knocked it through to Nelson. Off Finlay. Came out to make... Oh, hint of kicking in danger from Garton.
Right.
No, I don't think she made contact. So the umpires today brought to you by Bradman's Windows and Doors. In the field, Jack Pledge and Lucas Cosme. On the boundary, Jay Fraser and Lucas Richardson. And in goal, Bryce Franklin and James Hodgson.
Good to see a number of people staying on too after the men's game to see this contest, which is going to need a great support.
Moving forward, hard hit off the chest as Yuki threatened to go inside 50. Pritchard will make sure she do. She can make up her mind, and in the end she decided to handball to an opponent. Donataccio got it wide to O'Donnell, and she finds space. Fletcher chasing, is up against Coleman. Satchasiv has Fletcher on her back, able to dispose. A strong tackle from Hamilton, who has a very high number of tackles, A for a player of her side and B for a forward.
The umpires seem to be a bit forgiving for some of those tackles. Players perhaps had a bit of prior opportunity, perhaps a bit more forgiving in the contest, trying to allow that extra player or that player extra time to get rid of the ball.
As long as they're consistent, at the risk of sounding like a crusty old man in a bar, which is not quite what I am. I think also they're a bit closer than we are. If they can see that the player's juggling the ball and isn't quite in full possession, then the opportunity sort of hasn't started.
Also, I want the ball being knocked out of the players soon in the process.
They'll work hard during the week. Pritchard. So there were several changes of possession. She ended up with it. Went all the way through to Edie McCabe, who just saw it trickle out for a lasso free kick.
Just looking down the interchange there. Might have gone to the rooms there. Right, she just came out near it. She's certainly still looking at some discomfort there. Number 16, just keeping on the interchange bench and coaching staff and other players approaching her now. So I'll keep an eye on that one, Daniel.
Thank you, Andrew Brown. Play getting bogged down on the southern side of the ground.
Yeah, a bit of a scrappy start. Whereas the first quarter was fairly free-flowing.
Which often happens when you see free-flowing football. If your first order is to shut down the opposition, it can mean the intensity is the same. Hamilton had a couple of goes at it, wasn't able to bring it down. Senior centrally, and now play starts to break open. Little Snowden against Gear. Little snapshot of the future of women's football in Queensland. Snowden versus Gear. The bumping was tough. Martin clears it up the left-hand side of the ground. Bit of barging, so the free kick will go to Wilston Grange in the form of Jasmine Ware, much to the approval of the reserve grade side in front of us.
Yeah, very vocal indeed, which is good to see.
They know where the microphone is too.
Looking for the corridor, just overdid it at that stage. Still a chance here for Grange to get out of trouble, but on that occasion, Gracie Osborne was just wrapped up in a tackle. Another stoppage.
Good to see her back. Played for Queensland down in Tasmania. I'm not sure whether she got injured there or a match or two afterwards, but back now. Garton with a good ruck victory. But again, Osborne was positioning herself well. Spinning out of the tackle superbly was, I think, Wallace. It was. Didn't go much further forward than that, but I'd like to make a gif out of Wallace's spin.
Interesting interchange there by UQ. Knife coming on in place with Sartor. Normally I would have thought they'd both be dangerous on the field together.
Similar sort of player, but you're right, they do normally occupy the field at the same time. Wallace, an unfortunate slip. Very good clearance under pressure. Matenga turned it over. Hopkins keeps it wide. Fletcher was able to get around Moyle. Apologies, where?
Leg.
Good vision. Knife looked almost happy as she had the free kick.
Just letting the, I think, Wilston Grange reserve players know that she's involved.
She's not that far. She's good mark in front position from Donataccio.
Yeah, happy with that. It's been a good solid defence from both defensive teams at this stage, getting in front of their opponents, and that's what happens.
Well coached, Snowden comes out wide, finds the run of Ross. Ross has got some toe, was able to get away from Hides. That's a fast battle. Finning got from position against Barnett. Donataccio steaming onto it in the wrong direction, so to speak. O'Donnell comes wide. The slingshot is on. Wallace needed a target, has to go to a contest, but it's Smith. Used her body well, the hands not quite as well. Then knocked over Martin, who got down low. Hopkins finds the handball, hits it straight to Wallace. Ineffective disposal. Hides in the middle of the ground. Good tap from Snowden. Comes to Kendall. Used her body well before she met the body of Garton.
Tinder not happy there, so there's an interesting battle there. Tinder not happy with Garton, but no, good calling there, Daniel. Really good pressure play from both teams on the occasion. And see what Garton can do here.
Well, she's followed her own ruck through and come out wide. As all good modern rucks do. You don't stop playing when the ruck contest is over. Not like our day, Brownie.
Chance to open up here. It's one-on-one.
Not able to hold onto the mark in the forwards. Was taken. Dawson clearing. It was Finn Davies who's back from injury with the first touch. And again brought to ground pretty much in the middle of the mud.
Wilson Grange can get a couple of clearances here. There's no one inside attacking 50 for them, and then they can run onto the ball and have a chance at goal. They're holding their margin though by 1 point at the moment. No addition to the quarter-time score.
Went back to Wallace.
Yes, I think the umpire's going to just open up too.
Well, that's it. There's a time to put the whistle in the pocket, and there's a time to get the whistle out and make sure the game's played on fair terms, so to speak. Front position again from Davies. Left it behind. Finlay, a rare air swing. Work on the ground from Satchisiv, trying to keep it away from Finlay. That'll be a stoppage.
Yeah, missed opportunity for Finlay there. They had an open goal square. The teammates are running down towards the goals, but once again, it's held up on that half-forward flank. Garton favoured here.
Yeah, Smith, there's a bit of a history to that. Garton's become a bit of an expert in this competition at faking the run-in and then letting the opposition ruck tap into her. And I think Smith was going for the double bluff. Garton punches wide. Big aerial leap from Hamilton. Not really a stat, but looked fantastic. Beautiful work from Hopkins just to thump it out of the contest. Going towards Pritchard. Donataccio chasing hard. It's taken by Barnett. Slips the tackle. Barnett brings it centrally. Sees Jules Martin, who's closest to it. Not the greatest bounce in the world, but she makes it work. Martin floats it forward to Pritchard, who made very good ground. She'll run around her marker and go inside 50. Pritchard kicks from 48. Iona Pritchard needed the off-break. Ball's still in play. No, it's not in play. It's just not quite able to keep it in, was Molly Nelson.
Great work by Pritchard. Normally plays that high up the ground, or expecting with Pionci today that perhaps could have been playing a bit closer, or they've changed their team around in that regard.
To be honest, I think because of the wet weather, they need to be a little bit more compact. I don't think it's necessarily tactical in terms of the connections between the players.
Great kick, though, just missing to the wrong side. Still a chance here for UQ if they get the clearance, but Wilson Grange doing well here.
Matenga and Ware combining. Ware will get the rebound 50, finds Finlay, who makes sure of this mark.
Good kick. Need to find the target.
Team of the year in 2022, Finlay's Ella Smith. Last week it was replayed on social media where Tiani Brown of Southport ran into her and came off second best. I think she's finally realised how strong she is, Ella Smith. She's been in the system for a while. Picks out Naomi Celebre.
Played beautifully there. Got her opposition player underneath the ball. Now looking a chance. Watch out though. They just get the kick away and does so in time there.
Matenga going through to Brennan. There's a whistle. Something spotted off the play, but it is a Wilston Grange free kick. And they'll have a set shot from, about 20, 25 metres out.
Yeah, Fletcher obviously going to pass, spotted something while the flight of that ball and push out of the contest. And Fletcher's going to go back and have a shot and hopefully just within a range. Right behind the kick here, Daniel, can call it home.
So Katie Fletcher, as I said earlier, a premiership winner with UQ. And before that at Aspley. Played defence, has played wing. Unscored 4 goals and a quarter against Maroochydore for UQ. But has a chance to give Wilston Grange a significant lead. Well, I built it up for you, Katie. You let me down.
Just getting a bit close to Amanda Mark, and after that Mark and Ellie Smith coming up having a well-deserved break. Looks like Kylie Wilson might be having to do the ruck work now. We'll see where she plays. Only full measure there. The umpire allowed it.
Yeah, they tend to with the kick-ins. If you want to run 50 and no one stops you, it's their fault. Didn't quite connect outside the 50. There is a stoppage of a fairly bland variety. Finning versus Hicks. It's a quality ruck battle. Went all the way back to, I believe, Wallace. Well taken. That's not the first mark today that Hydes has taken in that kind of contest.
Jansen left forward pocket.
Went from a Tenga. Knocked away from her, but it's gone goal side to Celebrate. Just knocked off it legally. It looked like a good side-on challenge. Davies goes back to Satcheshead. That was a throw. It'll be a difficult set shot, but it is an opportunity.
Yeah, good pressure tackling again. Wilston Grange, like I showed in the first quarter, want to keep that ball inside 50 in their attacking zone. Have another opportunity here after a good tackle, force the error.
Summer Hamilton, a rare Brisbane-based player who's at the Suns Academy, or at least has been.
Going to do the run around.
Always. Summer Hamilton misses to the far side. 2 missed opportunities for Grange, and I believe I'm legally obliged to say something like that could cost them later.
Yes, well, these are the opportunities have to take. They've worked hard enough to get the ball down that forward line, and no doubt would like to convert it better, but they're sedging 3 points in front now.
The stereotype of the Wilston Grange forwards is that they often do the spectacular, but sometimes just the bread and butter can be a little bit soft.
Certainly allowing UQ a bit of distance for those kick-ins as well.
Can be a tactic where you leave yourself space in the forward line so it doesn't get too congested. As Barnett, well tackled by Finning. Finning wins the free kick.
Very well, Finning appearing for a penalty for running a protected area. The umpire said no, just go back and take the kick.
She had a point.
Now called the play on.
So she'll go inside 50, just to a contest. Coming from the side was, I think, that was Coleman. Didn't quite come down with it, but the idea was good. Hamilton played for a free. And she has won it. How do you see that, Brown?
Yes, well, the umpire saw it. That's the only thing that matters. And a bit further out, so it goes to the quick play on. And
Finning
again. Again, reading the play well. And she really is making her presence felt and causing a few dramas or troubles for the University of Queensland Red Lionesses.
Read it well. From an ice hockey background, actually. Has played goalkeeper in both field hockey and ice hockey. Want to call this one home, Brownie?
Well, I'm going to back her in from here. It's a little bit closer than what the Fletcher had before. Let's see what the number 47 does here. Comes in, and that's a good-looking kick. The crowd and the players like it straight away. And well done there to Finning. And gets on the board with that one. And a handy goal. And now move out to a 9-point lead.
Well, the good news for Wilston Grange is they finally got some decent reward for their territorial dominance. The bad news for them is it took it 14 minutes to do it. You suspect that they'd want to go back-to-back here so they feel like they've got full reward for the dominance they've had in this quarter.
Yes, definitely. And Ella Smith and not on this occasion. I think she's ready to come back on. So Finning maybe after this tap-out will be one taking a break. Also lining up in the mid there is Collins there for Wilston Grange at the 40. The UQ with the break here.
Then turned around by Gear. Mia Gear. Normally scores spectacular goals at the other end. Just went through the hands of two players. Matenga has a bit of space. Matenga over the shoulder. Needs a good bounce. The defence leaves it behind. Celebre off the ground. Across the face of goal. Being chased. Goes to Hamilton. Has Matenga inside. Hamilton space for herself. Misses everything out on the full.
Now opportunities there. Just dropping the mark at the vital stage. And well, they ran in numbers, but their eyes lit up. But couldn't quite convert in the end.
Well, the first attempt at mark shark, the second attempt at mark.
Yeah, you need someone to kick the ball in.
It's not the first time this has happened this year. There was a...
I didn't work out who was the closest to it. And it looks like it's going to be Annabelle Coleman to do the duties.
So they're playing scissors, paper, rock for a while. As Hicks, friendly fire, but it's come down in the hands. Trying to identify, is that Ross?
Could be.
No way, apologies for that. Goes over everyone. Suddenly they're 2-on-1. Pritchard, the bounce didn't favour her. Gave Donatashio a chance as Nelson was going forward. In fact, it was McCabe. Then bowled over the free kick to Wilston Grange. It's the first opportunity UQ have had in about 10 minutes, I'd say.
Can't get any benefit of the free kicks at the moment, the Gorillas.
Mr. Hull would say it's just a fact of the match. That's how many kicks there have been. Ross again. Just a ball up. And again, I can see what the bench was catcalling about, but it's consistent with the match adjudication, I would argue.
Smith back under the rock work and dispose of Lucy Hicks on that occasion. And good work there on that occasion by Collins. Gives the ball up the line. The mark taking it. They're certainly looking more dangerous than the Lionesses at the moment.
Yeah. There was a game, they played a morning game here last year, these two sides, during Pride Round. Not Pride Round, Ladies' Day. Continue that story in a moment. But similar sort of thing. Wilston Grange had the better of it early, and then the second half was dominated by the Red Lionesses. Senior tackled well by Jules Martin, who I've been impressed with in this match.
Scored on the boundary umpire there. Good in-depth boundary throw in there. So Ruckman plenty of chance for the game to open up. And this is good work on that occasion by Wallace.
Taken by Senior, didn't go 15, knew that. Hopkins brings it aground.
White's taking what we call full effect.
It does get dark here at Stafford with the trees on the far side are beautiful, but they do tend to keep the light out, which is good.
We need that advertisement to light back up again in the bright orange or the yellow, what it was before.
Now they are a club sponsor, and
yes,
they're not far from here. That's enough, Daniel. Shut up.
I know where you're going away home.
Good cheap feed. Ross comes wide, was looking for Moyle. Anderson grabbed it one-handed, then stood in the tackle, then had two attempts at the handball and still got it away. Finning faked, went through to Wallace, loses her feet, regains her feet well, still finds a teammate in the form of Senior. An unpretty kick inside forward 50. Brennan gets onto it, escorted over the paint by Dawson.
Yeah, great work there. Despite losing her feet, kept composure and got the ball moving forward. On that occasion, Wallace. And she's looking at the bench and she needs a break, and it's like Hyde is ready to take her place.
Well, it's Excitement Machine replacing Excitement Machine.
Knife off the ground again. It's been quiet. I need her back in there.
Hamilton, that'll miss to the right if it makes the distance at all. Just came off the feet, I suspect, of Brennan. And they'll go out for a boundary throw-in. Still a bit of time left in this quarter.
Yeah, still got Satchisiv and Knife on the interchange then. Looking for hopefully a last run just before half-time.
It's both quick players, and Satchisiv experienced, but very quick in defence. Simpson was battling with Hamilton on the ground, picked up by Gear. Gear snaps, didn't have much time, taken by Kendall, right next to the goal square.
And the Lionesses coaching staff might be happy with that to allow such a dangerous player to have a free mark so close to goal.
So probably will just drop punt this. And didn't make the distance, was too relaxed. And Sammy Snowden, well, we may be talking about that moment at the end of this match. A bad missed opportunity for Wilston Grange. And Tashinda Kendall, I don't mean to be too harsh on her because she'll know immediately she's made that mistake. So it's 3-3-21 for Wilston Grange. 2 goals to Tashinda Kendall. And 1 to, I can't read my own writing. I forgot. The 2 goals. Hayley Finning, I'm so sorry. And then Elka Barnett and Lucy Hicks both scored for UQ in the first quarter. We hope you're enjoying this match. 5th versus 7th in the Bond University QAFLW. Thanks for your company here on the official AFLQ YouTube channel. Far out, Daniel. Finning.
Inside this building is a simulated hospital ward, a high-tech biomechanics lab, a commercial kitchen, and a whole virtual home. Let's explore the new Bond Institute of Health and Sport in just 61 seconds. This is the 12-bed simulation hospital ward. From day one, Bond students gain hands-on experience in allied health and exercise science. This is the Work Play Lab, which gives students the opportunity to provide occupational therapy for our youngest, while the Activities of Daily Living Lab simulates a full home environment, giving students the chance to practice mobility work with our wisest. From sprinting to golf swings, this track can track it. Using pressure sensors and high-speed cameras, it can analyze anything from age-related conditions to elite sports training. Wow. The kitchen lab has solar-powered sustainable cooking stations, giving postgrad nutrition and dietetic students access to commercial-grade equipment.
Thank you.
Why don't you come and check out the Bond Institute of Health and Sport for yourself? Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? I've got 61 seconds to race you through the life of a student in the Bond Elite Sport program. Strap in. Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain, supporting student athletes like Mia. Student athletes have access to flexible study loads, adjusted academic requirements, and tutoring. The top tier of student athletes even receive funding to assist with their travel and competition costs. Bond also runs 4 high-performance sporting programs that field competitive teams. There's netball, rugby, AFL, and swimming. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Whether it's producing world-class athletes or offering scholarships to high-achieving students every single year, sport is alive and well at Bond University.
in the 2025 Bond University QAFLW. This is Hickey Park in Stafford, one of the most important grounds in, well, certainly southeast Queensland Australian rules history. The men's team here has had a long tradition, the women's team here building their own. A little bit more on that in a moment. But they are leading 3-3-21 to 2 straight goals 12 over the University of Queensland Red Lionesses. The goals for Wilston Grange, 2 to Shinta Kendall and 1 to Hayley Finning, and the goals for the University of Queensland to Elka Barnett and Lucy Hicks, both in the first quarter. My name is Daniel Viles. With me is Andrew Brown, whose reports you can read on the AFL Queensland website every week at play.afl/Queensland. Andrew, it was a more intense second quarter, that one, but we may yet be talking about the incident in the final few seconds.
Yes, Jacinta Campbell just missing, had a set shot for goal just before the siren rang, and just appeared to lean back a bit and not kick the ball through, try to steer it through, and surprisingly didn't make the distance from such a short range out. And she's got to put that one behind her and obviously concentrate on this quarter. As far as the Red Lionesses are concerned, they need to get back into it. They've barely touched their own forward 50 in that second term, and after getting kicking 2 of the first 3 goals of the game, they've allowed Wilston Grange back into the game, and no doubt some doing work from the coaching staff and reassessing things. And a couple of prime movers have been a lot quiet, such as Faraday Hopkins and Harriet Knife and Camilla Satchis, a little bit quiet, and just need to get things moving on the centre, because Coco Garton's giving enough drive there in the ruck and not capitalising on it at the moment.
Yeah, there's been a few, not many hits to advantage from Garton. I'm not entirely sure it's her fault.
No.
I'd like to put this match in a bit of historical perspective. Let's go back to 2022. UQ were premiers that year, and Wilston Grange were winless, and they were actually being asked questions by AFL Queensland about should you stay in the competition. They had an external review, took their medicine, and the result is that this year is the first time in 7 years that they've made the finals of the Bond University QAFLW. No team has had a gap of more than 2 years between finals appearances. Wilston Grange have rewritten history books this year.
And not letting secrets out that Ashley looks like definitely holding on to that 6th spot, but still the University of Queensland to go out of this season a winner, no doubt about that. So a lot to play for in the second half, and Garton starts off the right way, but again, unable to capitalise on that clearance.
Finlay's brought to ground. Often in the previous years, Finlay's had to drop back to half-back or maybe to a sort of less on-the-ball position. This year she's been able to play in the engine room. The stats are there to see. Moyle is wrapped up in the middle. Taken by Sartor. Handballed it over the pack. Matenga retreating a long way from her named position of full forward. Bit of play on the ground, and the umpires found a free kick for Wilston Grange. They elect to move left. It's taken just in the back pocket by Hydes, I think. It does get dark here, that's my excuse, I'm sticking to it. Bailey Cook, late inclusion, takes a mark on the right wing.
Got a first disposal, needs to find a player, ball picked up on the bounce on that occasion, bumped afterwards. Allowed that.
Back to Garton. Moon ball just towards the 50. Mark is dropped near the paint. Finlay chasing it. Work on the ground from, I think that's O'Donnell at the bottom of that, it is. Wins the free kick for high contact. You get your head over the ball, you win more free kicks than you give away. Well taken by Kendall just behind the pack. Kendall moves at centre field, is looking for Celebre. A little bit strong and taken almost casually by Snowden. Goes through the middle, just away from the fingers of Kendall. Got away with that one. Wilston Grange with the numbers in the middle, but it's Hopkins who drives them forward. Gets it inside 50. Well taken by Finning.
All of a sudden she's down back, picking up Lucy Hicks. Great game, both ends of the ground there, Finning, including that goal.
Garson came from a long way back. Didn't work. Smith had a head over the ball. Garton again came off the outside of the boot. Heads out towards the boundary line. Well kept in by Hydes. Keeps it wide. Senior chasing. Needs to not give away the lasso. Did she get to it before it went out? Yes, she did. A little bit of help from the Wilston Grange coach, Phil Tongan, just very helpfully advising the umpires what had happened.
And I still haven't seen any more of Neary either. Of course, injured in that first half for UQ.
Could be
one down after receiving a knock to the mouth. Bit of carrot there, unfortunately, so I hope she's okay.
Yeah, not the way that she deserves to end her first full season in seniors. Hopkins, first year at UQ after coming over from Yeronga. Finds touch, that'll be a good kick in a different sport. Jasmine Ware was a train-on player with the Gold Coast Suns last year. Highly regarded. Played in a few different states as well. Over the top to O'Donnell. Looking for the contest. Hamilton against Satchisiv. Went behind her to Matenga. Hamilton follows through. Has a little bit of space. Slips away from Snowden and Satchisiv in the one move. And Knife gets it centrally. Goes underneath the defender. Beautifully picked up by Celebre. The handball was scuffed through to Gear. Looking for space. Weaker left foot kick. Almost on the money through to Brennan. It's taken in defence by Davies. She's wrapped up by Senior. Thrilling play from Wilston Grange.
Yeah, Brennan just half decided whether to go the full-length dive to try and take the mark, decided to sit back. And anyway, they're still inside their forward 50. Another chance to put more pressure on the UQ defence here. Ball down to Smith on that occasion.
Got it out towards Osborne. Knocked out of her hand. She did well against 3 Red Lionesses. Kept it in. Hides. Outside of the boot. Nearly taken from the back from Coleman. Knocked away by Celebre, who in turn had it knocked out of her hands. Ross ran into trouble. Didn't give away the free kick.
Players stopped there thinking it was going to be a free kick. As I said, the umpires have been fairly lenient without holding the ball today. So a bit stiff not to get the free kick on that occasion was Siobhan Senior.
Yeah, also the umpires made a mistake there, but that's not bagging them. I've made several mistakes in commentary tonight, so they're winning. Smith, that's a neutralised ruck, went through to Senior, brought to ground straight away, and we end as we began.
No addition to the half-time score. Inside 50 there for Wilston Grange.
Beautifully run onto by Knife. That's one of the better reads of the ball drop that UQ have had today. Barnett back to Knife. Trying to get a bit of movement, UQ. Moving left, but Finning was almost in a postcode of her own. Got a lot of separation from Hicks. Has time to think about it. Write a novel. Keeps it wide. Finds Finlay.
Yeah, good work by Finning again. Just reading the play so well at the moment. UQ really finding it hard to get past her at this stage.
Brought inside by Finlay. Nearly landed to Hamilton at the back of the contest. Satchisiv tried to punch it away. Then it ends up in a rugby maul. Hamilton found a way out. She so often does. She's probably good at those garden mazes you find in palaces. Hopkins looking out wide, outside 50. That'll be a free kick to Wilston Grange. They have had the better of this match.
And this is the trouble for the University of Queensland, getting out of their defensive zone and finding a target, then pushing forward. Wilson Grange doing a great job locking it in.
Kendall goes for the impossible shot from the pocket to Shinta Kendall. It's out on the full.
You were correct. It was impossible, but a great attempt.
I always talk down the attempt, and that way, if they get it, they can say, well, I shoved it up that old commentator, didn't I?
Certainly can roost the ball, though.
Oh, she's
a penetrating kick.
Well, she was a smoky for the AFLW draft last year. Look, I mean, I think the point is there's so much improvement in her game to be made, and she's already brilliant. So she'll always be talked about. Smith, brought to ground, just a stoppage. One milestone I haven't mentioned today, Shalise Anderson began her career at Cooperoo, now at Wilston Grange. This is her 50th match in the Bond University QAFLW. So congratulations, Shalise, who probably been underrated. Senior kicks from about 45. She'll beat the pack. It's been cold, well cold brownie. And the free kick will come back to Uma Brennan.
Yeah, just the hands in the back on that occasion was clear. And I think it was genuine too. I think Brennan played for it. It was definitely forced out underneath the ball, and umpire saw it correctly. And it gives a chance too, because that play's been on that side of the ground for quite some time now. With both sets teams wanting to make the interchange. So
Uma Brennan with the set shot. Misses, in fact, hits the behind post on the full.
Wasting a few chances, aren't they, Daniel?
Normally a winger for most of her career, but moved on ball. So not a noted goal scorer, Uma Brennan, but she's a skillful player. She'll be disappointed with that. She sets high standards for herself.
Well, the play was set up to come on this side to help us out. No, I'm going to go to the dark side, if you like.
They don't play for us.
No.
Appeals from Matenga on the ground. Spectacular looking appeal. I hope one of the many photographers in this competition got hold of it. Congratulations to Anthony Byron as well, who mostly takes photographs at Astley, although he does get around the competition. It's like a knife in the ruck. Now I've seen everything. The shot came in from, I think, Finlay. It's well into the pocket. That'll just be a boundary throw-in. Yeah, it eventually makes the paint.
No players in the forward half of the ground as far as University of Queensland, so everything's locked in the forward half there for the Gorillas.
Lucy Hicks.
And it's up to the University of Queensland to try and find a way out. I won't do it here.
Not the first attempt anyway. Sartor, there was kicking in danger. And the free kick has gone to the Gorillas. I think that's Welsh, possibly Crow. I've just mixed up two players who have an age difference of 24 years. That's not good.
A few hardy spectators on that side of the ground too. Good to see.
So the set shot from distance. Marked in the goal square by Ella Smith. She did play a bit of full forward a couple of years ago before she did a horrible knee injury here. But with that size, she won't make the same mistake as happened earlier. Ella Smith is on the board. And the gap is out to 15 points.
She came in too from Grace Osborne as well. So
Thank you.
Took the composure. And so the tall forwards there, or the ruck work, both Hayley Finning and Ella Smith creating a bit of havoc there for the Red Lionesses when they go forward. And it's paid dividends on that occasion for Wilston Grange. And now finally, the Lionesses can make a few changes. They've been waiting, almost gone 9 minutes of this third term. Players been anxious to come on. And one of those players, again, as I mentioned, Faraday Hopkins, been a bit quiet so far and need her input along with Knife, and also Sartor went out of the game too in that second term, the number 4. And she's in there now.
Well, there's several advantages that Wilston Grange have earned the rights, have earned because of keeping UQ locked in their 50. One is that you reduce their capacity to interchange because you don't want to interchange when everyone's stuck in defence. But the second is that you take their talented midfielders more or less out of the game because you reduce them to just hat kicking roles. And Hopkins had a few disposals in that quarter, but it was mainly just trying to get the ball clear from a bit of congestion.
And Andrew's out here, number 12, hoping to get the ball. If it comes clear, it's not coming her way at the moment. There go Wilston Grange back into attack again. Big roost towards centre half forward. That's a very good mark as well.
That was taken by Brennan. Lays off to Fletcher. Fletcher breaks the tackle. Got away from Snowden. She's run a very long way. She's run too far. Fairly easy decision for the umpire to make, I would say, despite the protestations of the pro-Gorilla crowd.
Yeah, it was a chase down by Snowden there as well. Just tackled her at the right time where Brennan couldn't take the bounce and forced her on that extra few metres, and just a bit too far as far as the umpire is concerned. Risky kick for Andrews, but got herself in front of Fletcher, took a good mark.
Well, Fletcher was trying to make up for her error. It was her who was caught for running too far. And comes out towards Simpson. Good pick up. Tried to handball underneath the armpit of Findlay. Was it gear? Either way.
So Ella Smith, no taking a break. So what can Garton do here? What can the Lionesses do? Can take any advantage with Ella Smith off the ground?
Well, unfortunately, she's up against Finning, which is another advantage that the Wilston Grange have. And Finning used her body superbly. That was kicked away by Collins. Osborne regathers. Senior pushed back. Simpson just took 2 players back 20 metres by herself. Well knocked over the top of the opposition player by Snowden. Wilston Grange players getting in each other's way. The tackle was strong from Simpson. Simpson injecting herself into this game. I think she realises, hang on, there's a challenge on for me here. And I love a sporting challenge. Finning goes inside 50. It's knocked away in the general direction of Fraser. Spun away from Satchisiv. Matenga will complete the tackle. That'll be a ball up about 40 out from goal.
Yeah, great attacking play there by the Wilston Grange forwards there, and Fletcher and also Matenga, not letting the University of Queensland player out of that contest to keep the ball in there.
Garton from a long way back just slightly mistimed the jump. Ended up being a no-win ruck contest. Snowden on the ground. And I'm not sure if that was Aussie rules or an arm wrestle, but either way, it was entertaining.
Again by Wilston Grange, 3 players that the Lionesses need to support their player more. They need to break through these tackles. A chance for Sartor to do so now.
Sartor breaks free of the congestion. Got it up towards McCabe. McCabe knocked it in field, had Senior on her back. Again knocked in field. Hint of high contact, but I think the player cleverly withdrew before any contact was made. Hopkins trying to wrestle the ball away. Nearly succeeds. I guess that's technically a disposal. Also working through the middle. I think that's the red sleeves of Finning.
Yeah, driven to the ground. But again, it's all the Gorillas' pressure at the moment. Really hassling the Lionesses.
Good work by Wallace to get away, and then ran into a tackle. Maybe slightly lucky not to give away the free.
So another stoppage, just perhaps UQ looking dangerous, setting a few players forward. Now Garton's got down a bit loose there too, so another chance for them to get the ball out there, but it's come to the wrong side for them.
Just knocked away by Senior. Been very industrious. I don't think she'll have a high stat count tonight, Senior, but she's been involved a lot. Tried to run away from Davies. Play was called to continue by the umpire, who made a very early call. Osborne somehow got a kick away, hasn't gone 15. Satchisiv tried to knock it back. Play progresses towards the arc, and then we have the wonderful walking tackle that you like to see.
Well, back to the umpire, and away we go again. Hicks can get the ball out now. Great work by Finning again.
Lost the ruck contest and managed to win the ball. Satchisiv wrapped up by Hamilton, tried to get it back to Davies. Davies possibly touched before she got the ball. Just be a stoppage, 48 out, left forward pocket.
Also still sitting the Gorillas. They've got the advantage now, 15 points.
And even though the weather's dried up, the ground is still wet, and I suspect the ball was a little bit wet as well. Good tackle from Snowden, not paid. That kick swinging from right to left. Was just teasing with going through to Matenga. Didn't quite get there. Out towards Davies. Osborne with the tackle. And Davies deliberately on purpose accidentally walks over the paint.
Good work again by Wilston Grange. Umpires like to throw the ball up here in the forward pocket.
But you're right about Wilston Grange playing the territory, and that they want points, but territory will do when they've got a lead of 15. And of course, there's an outside chance. I'll get back to that in a moment. Finning will shoot from about 35. It's to the left and short. No, it's not short, but it is to the left. Gap out to 16. Oh, and there's a bit of a pushing and shoving just on the 40. I'm not quite sure who started. We might just keep quiet and see if the players self-incriminate.
Faraday Hopkins involved there, as was Finning.
Play continues from the back line.
Did you say there's history between these two teams?
Not really. No, it's normally a fairly good-natured match, so that's out of character. Wilston Grange and Cooperoo, there's feeling, but not Wilston Grange and UQ. In fact, to be fair, it's been a fairly one-sided history in favour of UQ. This would be maybe the first time, maybe the second, that Wilston Grange has beaten UQ twice in a year, if they can finish the job.
Ollie Nelson feeling attacked that tackle on that occasion as Grange go forward again.
The senior inside 50, well taken by Davies, who's paid the mark, and I'm happy with that. Just about me.
Southwest Grange on their players in front of that occasion. I'll back herself too.
Against Summer Hamilton. Not a bad effort. Into space, goes behind Donataccio, who I would call best on ground in the first half. Gets it back to Brennan. Has Anderson inside. Not a nice present to receive on your 50th game. Simpson took on Hamilton. Called holding. Could possibly have been called for the fend as well. I think it's just the height difference. Simpson isn't quite sure why she's given away the free, but trust me, on the replay, didn't look good.
And again, Garton was there lurking down the forward line all by herself, but the University of Queensland just can't get it down there. It's great stuff by the Gorillas.
Well taken by Knife. Continues quickly. Out on the foot. Oh! Hides and Knife, but Hides definitely made contact with Knife's face.
A bit of intensity, a bit of feeling generated in this third quarter.
Knife looks unperturbed. So O'Donnell with the free kick on the left wing. Just a bit of kick pass. It's a little bit low to Finlay. And Finlay, as well as being one of the most physically strong players on the ground, is also one of the most even-tempered. So I wouldn't mind betting that she's one of the ones saying, for goodness sake, let's just win the game, girls.
I think it's coming from a bit of frustration though from Lionesses. I don't think there's a bit of frustration at the moment. Things not going their way, and Wilston Grange want to keep it that way.
So you're saying that the Lionesses were largely responsible for that one? I didn't get a good view of it, so I'm not questioning you.
No, I'm just saying that we're a bit frustrated there.
Sure.
Just not able to get the play that they want to.
Hits inside, pilfered by Brennan. Infield wouldn't have gone 15. Osborne gets it the third attempt. Remember, the ball is still slippery. Brennan ran into a bit of trouble. Finlay pulled for a throw. I think she had her arms taken away, so Snowden with the free kick. About as far forward as she gets. Needs to hit the target. Couldn't quite find Pritchard. Osborne gets in the way. Tries to link up, but she'll take the stoppage as the tackle is strong from Dawson. From Moyle, apologies.
And all the play has progressed. A couple of players lurking around the middle of the ground at the moment. But chance for Wilston Grange to clog up now the University of Queensland forward line.
And conversely, a chance for the University of Queensland to say, well, at least we've got some territory now. Haven't got the flow going yet, but at least we're in the opposite part of the ground.
Haven't scored since the 12th minute of the opening term. UQ behind all goals.
Good pick-up. Pilfered by Finlay. Finlay on a bike goes straight down the middle. Route 1 lands in front of Hamilton. Hamilton trying to get in front of Satchisiv. Satchisiv did extremely well to knock it back over his shoulder. Combines with Dawson. Satchisiv just has to clear. Goes to a 2-on-none. Well taken by Martin. And Jules Martin will end the third quarter with the ball in her hand. A few tempers fraying in the third quarter, but it is still Wilston Grange very much in command. 4-4-28, leading the University of Queensland 2-12. This is the final home and away round of the 2025 Bond University QAFLW.
Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain.
With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Sport is alive and well at Bond University.
to secure their 10th win of the season, which I think will be their second best ever, certainly since their premiership win of 2018. They are leading by 16 points over the University of Queensland Red Lionesses. The goals for Wilston Grange, 2 to Tashinta Kendall, 1 to Hayley Finning, 1 to Ella Smith. University of Queensland haven't scored since the first quarter. Elka Barnett and Lucy Hicks scoring in the first term. My name is Daniel Viles. With me is journalist Andrew Brown. Brownie, your thoughts on the third quarter so far, and maybe just, what can UQ do to turn this around?
Well, it was just status quo for Wilston Grange, wasn't it? They were able to lock it in and keep the Red Lionesses under pressure. Didn't give them much chance for appearance at all. They tried a couple of different things. Garton trying to move down the forward line. As the cane toads are out earlier, which you might have heard an exclamation in the background. But, this is what UQ have to do. Get Knife, get Sartor involved, Sachisev, Garton and all those forward playmakers. But not quite doing it at the moment, and Wilston Grange have just had the ascendancy.
Good work from O'Donnell. Thank you very much, Brownie. Gets it to Gear. Gear has a bounce. She'll go inside 50. And once again, it's Wilston Grange who begin a quarter with the forward pressure. Knocked under legs, was just able to be handballed sideways from Garton. Ross into trouble. Kendall nearly broke away, just lost it at the crucial moment. Matenga completes the tackle. Knife with 2 early touches. But as you said, Brownie, just as you were saying, they've done what they needed to do, it all came undone.
Absolutely, and good counter-attack there, and the pace of Gear too off that half-back line has been effective for them.
Osborne, wrapped up by Sartor. I do wonder how much longer we're going to have Gear in this competition, and whether when she's of age, the Big 18 come calling.
Well, it's the last quarter of the season for the Red Lionesses, and I'm sure they want another score on the board and apply a bit more pressure to their opponents, but it's just not happening at the moment. And seeing the Gorillas have that ball locked up there in that forward pocket.
And the last quarter of the careers for a couple of premiership winners in Hicks and Dawson. They won't die wondering. Competitive beasts. Of course, Lucy Hicks joined us in commentary when she was injured as well, which was delightful. And you will be able to hear her doing the ground announcing at Queensland Firebirds games as well. So you cannot get away from Lucy Hicks.
Multi-talented.
She works at Queensland Cricket. She has all the sports jobs. Big ruck win from Garton. Hamilton just had it pulled out of her grasp. Hint of kicking in danger, but I think the umpire was blindsided. That kick's gone back centrally and Finning cuts it off.
Yes, sir. Just read the play. That's what's impressed me about her play this evening, is just the ability to read the play, get in front when required, and got a goal for boot as well.
Kicks it into the goal square. It's taken well in defence by Coco Garton. It's easily been the best of her 3 years in this competition, and then picks out a target in Hopkins. Hopkins needs to connect. She goes long. We know she can do that. This time she finds McCabe. It's a crucial moment of the match for UQ. Goes to Pritchard, who holds on.
And running forward as well. They've got a chance there. UQ.
Pritchard. Finning's gone all the way back. It's just landed to the side of Barnett. Barnett in a bit of space. Benefits from the Shepherd. Barnett with the dribble. It goes to the side for a behind, but it is their first scoring shot since it became dark.
And they just couldn't get it to Moyle. Ashley Moyle was the player running forward into space, but that's been the best play, no doubt, for the Red Lionesses throughout this match. They beautifully linked up, started with Garton in the back, and good to see Hopkins involved in the play as well.
All the other matches taking place in round 16 are available from where you're watching now, the official AFLQ YouTube channel. So bounce through to Matenga, connects with Osborne. I'll tell you about another match you can watch on this channel in a moment. Hamilton just had it knocked away from her by Coleman, but Hamilton kept her feet. Found Celebre in space. Haven't seen Celebre for a little while. Goes to centre half forward and taken across the front of the pack by Senior. Senior got very close to Snowden. Snowden smothered it.
Celebre is down behind the play there as well too, Daniel.
Watching a few concerned calls from, not sure if it was coaches or spectators, but either way there's some unhappiness. And Celebre's up. It'll take more than that to bring her down.
In the desire for Senior to get that ball moving forward, perhaps played on a bit too quick.
Hamilton half broke the tackle. Slick handballs through to Finlay. Ross with the tackle.
In the back. And UQ not happy, but gee, really impressed with Hamilton's approach in the start of this last quarter, been involved in everything, showed a lot of courage in the play. And it's up with a free kick, a bit too far out on this occasion, but drive it in deep.
So Finlay across, looking for the goal square. Plenty of hands go up. The ball comes down by itself. Strong tackling this time by Hopkins, who played a bit of fullback for the Lions Academy last year, but mainly an on-baller. Smith got it back, just missed the teammate. Hamilton hits the deck, Sachasev hits Hamilton.
I was going to say, guess who? In there first once again.
Yeah. She's energy. Not someone, look, I don't want to be one of these people who go, oh, they should be drafted, but I mean, people are talking about Hamilton. We'll see what happens with her career. The clearance from UQ. Went through to Barnett, was swung around, nearly towards knife. Beautiful play from Matenga to work to her own team's advantage. Finlay through the middle, towards Kendall. Kendall into space. Kendall! Tashinta Kendall just hits the outside of the pole. I will never apologise for my voice going up whenever Tashinta Kendall gets the ball, because you never know.
Just missing alongside of the post too. Again, perhaps could have run on an extra metre or two before being tackled. But it suits Gorillas, up by 16 points now. Long way back for UQ now.
Finlay at the back. Finlay's been outstanding tonight. Commentators curse that he'll go out for a lasso free kick, but just the way she's able to charge onto the ball, and she's both a lead by example and a lead by voice captain, and there aren't many who are good at both. She's still only 24. Depending on what she wants out of her life, she could be captain here for a decade.
They get the ball moving here, Lionesses.
So Simpson kept it wide. Coming from the back was Nelson, and then Matenga. Slightly different guess who, but you're absolutely right that she's been involved in the play tonight. Celebrate. Couldn't quite get a handle on the ball. Managed to make her opponent slip over and goes shallow inside 50. Lands in space, spins away from Wallace. Wallace, does she go for a shot or a pass? She kind of does both. Towards the goal square, Annie Wallace, Kendall tried to throw it onto the boot and flick it through. In the end, it missed everything and went out for a behind.
The bounce of the ball there, Daniel. Great kick by Wallace in there. Tashinta Kendall waited for the ball to bounce the right way. Didn't quite do so. Through for another rush behind.
The oval ball is the best worst thing about Aussie rules, or possibly the worst best thing, but you know what I mean.
And Linus is coaching stuff. Not happy with that kick in either. Not presenting enough.
No, Osborne had it all too easy, sorry. She'll go across the face of goal. Hamilton had front position. Simpson with the punch. Hamilton! Summer Hamilton! You suspected that burst of energy from Hamilton was going to end that way.
Well, the important thing for Wilston Grange is such a big assignment next week. They're into the finals, he said, the first time in 7 years?
2018, yeah.
2018. And they're going in with a great deal of confidence now, and they seem to be playing that way. And they'll be looking forward to next week. Probably next week can't come around quick enough for them. But I'd love to see UQ try and get a score back here.
For UQ, if they do go on to lose this game, well, first of all, it's been a frustrating season, but by no means a failure of a season. And the challenge for them will be to hang on to the young players that they've got, because they keep building. This will, they're on track for a third rebuild in 3 or 4 years. So if they can keep players, keep the bulk of the side together, they could really grow into something, which is a little bit what Wilston Grange have done, the way they've grown in the last 3 years. Of course, they've recruited talent.
Almost going the wrong way, that occasion there, the skipper Charlotte, but got back on track there. Charlotte Andrews, I should say.
That's right. First year as captain of UQ, and seems to have the respect of the players. Certainly got the respect of the commentator. I'll speak for myself, Andrew can go into that.
Getting involved, and nice big roost as well.
Inside 50, Finning going back. On her tail is McCabe. McCabe tried to bump it to her own advantage, did well, got it forward to Barnett. Barnett in space. Barnett gives UQ a sniff. Second goal for Elka Barnett.
Great work there by McCabe too in the forward pocket. Got the ball over, and Barnett was in there for support. She knows her way around goals and gets her second for the afternoon, for the evening.
Well, it's one of the few times in the match so far that Finning hasn't had a clean pickup. She's had very clean hands in difficult conditions tonight, and you could really, you credited exactly the right person, Edie McCabe. Not that I was expecting you not to,
but of course it started from the centre when Hopkins getting involved, which we've been asking her to do, and got the long kick in, put the chaos kick under pressure, and results in a goal for Lionesses. And can they make it 2 in a row here?
Yes, Knife goes wide, didn't have anyone on it. Wallace came steaming through the other way, had 2 teammates protection. Tries to get away from Snowden. Snowden's been easily the best defender for UQ tonight. Goes through to Coleman. Just dribbles through to Dawson. And they haven't been able to connect, and they have turned over. Hamilton going centrally. Goes just past Matenga. Sachasev heading back. Sachasev's been good tonight. I just think that Snowden's been the outstanding defensive member.
Probably one of their better ones as well, as you mentioned. And it's great work there by Sachasev, because there were a couple of other gorillas there lurking around. Could have easily picked that one up.
Hicks knocked inside, but it went under to Celebre. Kicked away by Sachasev. Rebounded off Hopkins. Fletcher trying to knock it into space. Goes out towards Hydes. Played for a push in the back. Look, maybe it was, but I think she looked it as well.
I think it was there. Got a little nudge.
I'll go up to Kyra after the match, and I will say that to her face.
Umpire was right there. That's the important thing.
Indeed. Hits the deck in front of goal. Kendall trying to find space. UQ made sure there was none.
All-out defence here for the Red Lionesses. The Gorillas have been dangerous. Happy to lock it in here.
Nelson was able to connect with Martin, then through to Hicks.
Idea was right.
And Collins got her body in the way. That was good work from Collins. I think this is only her second year of Aussie Rules. Came down from Bundaberg, where she's done every other sport except Aussie Rules. I think Bundaberg's newspapers pretty much had a Freya Collins story a week there for Layla Collins, apologies. Freya Ross, Layla Collins, get it right, Daniel.
Over halfway through. Trying to get a clearance. It's back in the arms of the Gorillas once again.
So Collins, lasso free kick, but I think the right idea to... They've still got the luxury of being able to play for territory, a 17-point lead.
And just confirming, yes, have not seen any more of Annalise Neary, so disappointing way for her season to finish. We've had receiving a knock in that second term and coming off, hasn't reappeared since, so we've been a player down.
Moyle got it through to Hicks, and then Sartor peeling off the outside, had it knocked away from her possession. Ross with a strong tackle, trying to make sure that Crow wasn't able to get away. Crow's done a few good things on her debut. Kendall pushed off the ball, good work from Snowden. I think that was one of those tackles where we could see that it was a bit high, but I don't think that Jack Page had a snowball's chance in hell of being able to see it.
No, he's blindsided.
Hicks knocks it away from Smith. Landed on two players' backs, I suspect. Hicks somehow got it underneath to Simpson. Bursts away. Simpson. A finish slipped over, but it went through the hands of Garton anyway. Garton's been moved forward. Hicks into the ruck. Spilled out to Welsh, who I think she's 40 years old, and I think she's got another decade in her, Carly Welsh.
Great tackle there by Matenga on the opposing skipper there, Charlotte Andrews.
Thanks for picking that. Oh!
Off the ball. The umpire's picked it up.
Now Matenga and Cook just... the outer zone umpire has seen it.
Yes. Free kick's going to go to Cook. It's at the late inclusion, Bailey Cook for Josie Hargreaves.
So Cook tried to go towards Hicks, just knocked it over the head of Hydes, who in turn tries to knock it into space. Got away from Hicks, couldn't get away from Simpson, got the handball inside. Eventually comes to Osborne, back to Finning. Thought about the long kick, thought too long, it was partially smothered. Clever tap from Senior. Osborne through the middle, was looking for Kendall. Makes it land in front of her. One-on-one battle with Snowden. Snowden wins it and was nearly away. You could argue the umpire blew too quickly, not being overly critical.
Yeah, well called, Daniel. Great stuff by all players concerned there, trying to get the ball moving forward. Osborne again involved here, didn't go far enough though. Hamilton, front and centre.
What identified Osborne well is that she, and this is not a criticism, she hasn't been sort of consistently dominating match, but she's turned up in about 3 or 4 periods in this match and said, right, the next 3 or 4 minutes are mine, and I will dictate the play.
This is suiting the Gorillas at the moment. Overrun there by Pritchard, unfortunately. Need to get it out here, UQ, but Grange appear to know what to do.
So Senior goes wide to Gear. The tackle was strong. Hopkins appealing for the free kick. Again, I think the umpire was blindsided, and then a late call. Let's come back to Senior.
Good to see the crowd so, you hear the crowd so vocal.
Good to see
Moyle there involved in that tackle.
Ashley Moyle kicks away to Finlay. Outstanding tonight, Finlay.
That's been a disappointing thing for UQ. Chances to go forward, just been chopped off by the solid Grange defence.
Snowden's looking exhausted, and yet she's not playing any worse. I do wonder, late to Aussie rules, so she's been missed by the academy system. I just wonder whether people in higher paid clubs are keeping an eye on her. Pritchard, handballs away to Hicks. Turned over again, Wallace. She's been very good in different parts of tonight's game. Matenga not able to get it. Yuki with the numbers around the ball. Then Fletcher gets a hand in.
Celebrates there, look at top of the goal square if they manage to get it down to her.
Hamilton with a swan dive in the middle of the tackle. And it'll be brought to a stoppage. About 48 out. No, free kick to University of Queensland. Missed the signal, but Barnett will clear. Found Moyle. Moyle unable to hold on. You suspect that's a tired error, which can happen when you've had a player injured early in the match. Osborne trying to kick it through the pack. Kind of worked. Nothing there. The other match you can catch on the official AFLW channel is the grand final of the Diversity League was held earlier today in Noosa. And so that is on the channel. So when this game's finished, or perhaps during the week, treat yourself to the Inclusion League grand final, which is for players with mental disabilities.
Smith came rushing through. Hamilton's there. They just want to lock it in. Trying to get a clearing handball, but it's ineffective at the moment.
Let's see Snowden's tackle count, and iSports will have all the stats on play. Well, you can access it via play.afl/Queensland. Early in the week is one of the girls outside the boundary just does a little cartwheel. Clearly not, the game's not entertaining enough for her. She has to...
Reminds you of you in your gymnastic days.
I'm glad you remember. I'm glad someone finally brought that up. They're still stuck on the wing, moving unconvincingly infield.
Again, we had Knife off the ground. A couple of changes.
Snowden off, Martin on. While Snowden's their best defender, she's also exhausted. She's earned her reward tonight. Through to Finlay, just not able to pick up as the ball spun sideways past her. Sartor wrapped up by Wallace. Another of the team fleet here at Wilston Grange. As Crow provided a lead on the outside. Wallace was looking for Kendall, came off a few sets of hands. Kendall trying to find a way through. There were hands on the way through. Celebrity! Still hasn't gone out. Well, I think it just kept rolling sideways. Eventually it's going to be a boundary throw-in. And I'd love to see... do we have like a GPS tracker on that ball so we can...
It doesn't want to go through.
No. It was like the magnet inside the pole, the goalpost was the same as the magnet inside the ball. They were just repelling each other. So while we don't know and won't give away the result of other matches in this round, it was always clear that Wilston Grange next week would play essentially the loser of Bond versus Cooperoo. And the only question is whether it would be here or it's the other team's ground. Handballing in front of goal. Eventually Sartor just got it away through to Barnett. Hicks to clear. Will land in space. Finning's at the front of that space, and she ends up in a lot more space than she began with. Kicked it into an opponent in the form of Sartor. Got a second kick in. And again, is just doing whatever she wants at the moment. Not taken by Dawson, and that will go out of bounds.
Not just the first effort, not just the second effort. The third effort from Finning there just typifies her play today.
Best on ground?
Not just yet, not just yet. What time remaining, Daniel? Time remaining.
I have premature acclimation problems.
Here's a chance for the Lionesses, though. One last scoring chance for the season.
It's Pritchard trying to dance through. Went to Ross on the outside. They're moving wide and then taken by Donatashio. It was probably my best on ground for the first half, which is... But Wilston Grange celebrate their return to the Bond University QAFLW finals, the first time in 7 years, with a 17-point win over the University of Queensland, 5-6-36 to 3-1-19. The goal scorers for Wilston Grange, 2 to Tashinta Kendall, 1 each to Finning, Smith and Hamilton. For UQ it was 2 to Barnett and 1 to Lucy Hicks. Andrew Brown, some final thoughts on this round 16 clash?
Yeah, well, Despite the result, University of Queensland can be proud of their season. So close and something to aim for, as you mentioned before. Hopefully they can keep a lot of those players, get the recruits, and maybe they can go 1 or 2 places higher next season. But well done to the Gorillas. They've certainly earned their place in the finals, and the way they played this afternoon, they can go into next week's game with a lot of confidence. I gave 1 to Annie Wallace. I thought her game was terrific. 2 to Hamilton. This is in everything, especially after half-time there for Summer Hamilton. But no doubt, the player that got things going early, got a goal herself, did the ruck work, was down back, repelled the attacks of Lucy Hicks and also Coco Garten. No doubt number 47 in long sleeves for me, Tony Finney.
No argument from me, not that you needed one anyway. Andrew Brown, thank you so much for your work tonight. Hope you enjoyed yourself.
Absolutely. No, it's been great being here, and thanks once again, and well done to those retiring players too as well, in Julia Dawson, of course, Lucy Hicks.
Well said. Next week, the fixtures have not yet been announced, but they will be, so please go to the AFL Queensland website. That's play.afl/Queensland. Also follow QAFL_QAFLW on both Instagram and Facebook. You can also, on the official AFLQ channel, you can watch all of the games from both the men's and women's competition this year. What I can say is that next week, in the new expanded 16 final series, 3rd will play at home to 6th, 4th will play at home to 5th, and for both of those games, they are elimination finals. The losers can have their Mad Monday a couple of days later. But on behalf of Andrew Brown and Double Take, my name is Daniel Viles. Thank you so much for your company throughout the season. This final series is going to be special. Don't miss it.